The phone's harsh ring shattered the peaceful afternoon silence of my new lakeside estate. I set down the crystal tumbler I'd been carefully unpacking and reached for my cell, expecting perhaps a congratulatory call from an old colleague. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows, the pristine mountain lake stretched endlessly blue, gentle waves lapping against my private dock. "Listen up, old man. We're already driving to your place." Marcus's voice hit my ear like a sledgehammer. No greeting, no pleasantries, pure, undiluted entitlement. "There'll be 18 of us, so get beds ready, towels, food, everything. We're staying 3 weeks. We'll be there in 30 minutes, so move fast." My hand tightened around the phone. 40 years of architectural work, careful savings, delayed gratification, all for this moment of peace in my dream home. Moving boxes still cluttered the granite countertops, packing materials scattered across surfaces I hadn't yet claimed as truly mine. "Marcus, wait. I haven't even fully settled in yet. The house isn't ready for. Don't care what you've got going on." His voice carried that familiar tone of casual dismissal. "You've got money, that means you've got space. End of discussion." The mountain breeze through the open patio doors carried the scent of pine and freedom, but Marcus's words poisoned the air. I gripped the marble countertop, watching my knuckles whiten. This is my first week here. I still have boxes everywhere, no proper bedding setup for guests. Figure it out, old-timer. You're retired, right? What else do you have to do? Car engines revved in the background. Vanessa's already packed the kids' stuff. Tom and Kelly are bringing their crew too. It'll be like one big family reunion. Family reunion. The words twisted in my chest like a rusted blade. After everything I'd given, this was how he saw our relationship, a one-way street paved with my generosity and his assumptions. I need time to prepare properly. Maybe next month when? Next month? Marcus's laugh was sharp, mocking. "We're already committed, David. You wouldn't want to disappoint the kids, would you? Vanessa's been telling them about Uncle David's fancy new lake house for weeks. Uncle David, not Grandpa. David. Uncle, as if I were some distant relative obligated to provide entertainment. Marcus, please be reasonable. 3 weeks with 18 people. Stop being dramatic. Family helps family, remember? You taught me that. Besides, what's the point of having all that money if you don't share it?" I closed my eyes, seeing Sarah's face in my mind. My daughter, his deceased wife, the bridge between us that death had burned away 4 years ago. What would she think of this conversation? "Just have everything ready. We're bringing beer, so make sure your fridge has space. Oh, and Vanessa wants your master bedroom. It's got the best lake view, right? We'll take that one. My master bedroom. The sanctuary I dreamed of for decades, with its private balcony overlooking the endless water. See you in 25 minutes. Don't keep us waiting outside." The line went dead. I stood motionless, holding the silent phone. Through the windows, eagles soared above the water, their cries mixing with distant lapping waves. This was supposed to be my paradise, my reward for a lifetime of putting others first. Sarah's photo smiled at me from the mantelpiece, the only item I'd unpacked first. I picked up the silver frame with trembling hands, studying her warm brown eyes, the gentle curve of her smile. 4 years since cancer took her, but the ache remained fresh. "Dad, Marcus is really trying to find work." Her voice echoed in my memory. "Could you help us just this once?" Just this once. Those 3 words had become the soundtrack of my relationship with Marcus Chun. I sank into the leather reading chair positioned to face the lake, Sarah's photo cradled in my lap. The first emergency had come 6 months after their wedding. Marcus's consulting firm had folded, leaving him unemployed with mounting debt. $22,000 I'd transferred from my retirement savings. Then his MBA program, $58,000 over 2 years. Their house down payment, because his credit couldn't secure decent rates, $75,000 that time. Sarah's medical bills during her cancer treatment had been legitimate. $112,000 I'd gladly given to fight for her life. But even then, Marcus had somehow made it about himself. After Sarah died, I'd expected the requests to stop. Instead, they intensified. Car repairs, property taxes, Vanessa's engagement ring upgrade. I kept a mental tally. $347,000 over 7 years. The sound of multiple engines pulled me from my thoughts. Through the study window, I could see dust clouds rising from the private road. 5 vehicles moving like an invasion force. Car doors slammed in rapid succession. I moved to the front entrance, watching through the sidelights as the convoy disgorged passengers into my circular driveway. Marcus's black SUV LED, followed by sedans and a pickup loaded with coolers and enough luggage for a month-long expedition. 18 people. Marcus hadn't been exaggerating. "What's up, old man? How do you like our surprise?" Marcus pushed past me without invitation, designer sunglasses despite the afternoon shadows. "Vanessa, look, there's the hot tub I told you about." "Marcus, I told you I'm not ready for guests." But my words were lost as the group streamed through my front door. A man I recognized as Tom whistled low. "Guy's got serious money. Why not share it with family?" Kelly pushed through with oversized suitcases. "This place is perfect for our vacation. The kids are going to love that infinity pool." Kids I hadn't heard anything about. Children on the phone. Stop being dramatic. "David." Marcus had reached the living room. Wet sandals leaving prints on my imported stone. "Family helps family. You taught me that." More people flooded in, faces I didn't recognize mixing with others I'd met at Sarah's funeral. Someone carried a cooler like he was arriving at a college party. 2 women discussed room assignments as if I weren't standing there. "Could everyone please?" My voice was barely audible over the growing noise. "Oh my gosh, you guys have to see this kitchen." Vanessa had discovered my gourmet cooking space, holding her phone up. "We're staying at my father-in-law's incredible lake house. Look at this view." Father-in-law. The title felt like sandpaper. Marcus had never called me dad, even when Sarah was alive. But Vanessa claimed the connection when it suited her. Someone found my sound system. Bags appeared everywhere, stacked against my walls like territorial markers. Marcus moved toward the bedroom hallway, strangers following. "Vanessa and I'll take the master suite. Tom and Tracy can have the guest room with the lake view. Kelly, you and Chris take the one with the balcony." I stepped in front of him. "The master bedroom is off limits. That's my private space." Marcus's laugh was sharp. He placed a hand on my shoulder, not affectionately, but with casual condescension. "Don't be selfish, David. We drove 5 hours. Vanessa specifically wants the room with the best view for her morning yoga videos." The physical contact felt like violation. I stepped back, but Marcus pushed past, leading his entourage down my hallway. "This is perfect," Vanessa's voice echoed from my bedroom. "The lighting here is amazing for content creation." In the living room, Tom had opened his cooler, distributing drinks without permission. Kelly was rearranging my furniture. Someone's child was running around the pool deck in wet swimwear, leaving dark footprints on my imported limestone. The invasion was complete. In 10 minutes, my peaceful retreat had become a crowded rental. I stood in my own foyer feeling like a stranger, watching people I barely knew claim ownership of spaces I'd dreamed about for decades. Marcus emerged from my bedroom, grinning. "This is going to be the best 3 weeks ever. Vanessa's planning a housewarming party tomorrow night. Hope you don't mind." She invited people from her yoga studio. A housewarming party. This wasn't a family visit. This was a hostile takeover. Vanessa appeared from my master bathroom with a towel wrapped around her wet hair, water droplets marking trails across my marble floors. She carried her designer suitcase with casual confidence. "Excuse me." I planted myself in the bedroom doorway, arms crossed. "This room is off limits." She paused, genuinely surprised. Oh, come on, Dave. We talked about this. The lighting here is perfect for my morning routine videos. No, everyone needs to leave now. Vanessa's eyes widened with practiced innocence. Dave, honey, we're family. Why are you being so hostile? Marcus appeared, his expression darkening. David, move aside. We've been driving for hours. This is my house. I want all of you to leave immediately. Marcus's laugh was dismissive. He stepped closer, invading my space. Your house, really? Did you forget everything you owe our family? Did you forget who the real victim is here? The real victim. After $300,000, after 7 years of constant financial bleeding, I was somehow the debtor in his twisted accounting. I don't owe you anything. My hands shook with suppressed rage. This conversation is over. Vanessa tried to squeeze past with her suitcase. I shifted to block her completely, and she stumbled backward with genuine shock. Dave, that's so rude. The commotion drew others from throughout the house. Tom appeared with beer, Chris behind him carrying beach towels like trophies. Kelly emerged from the guest bathroom, makeup half applied. Someone turned down the music, and suddenly the entire group was watching our standoff. Dude, what's your problem? Tom's voice carried casual arrogance. We're not hurting anything. You're trespassing. All of you. Marcus placed his hand on my shoulder with patronizing familiarity. Sarah would be ashamed of how selfish you've become. Old man. That contact unwanted, presumptuous, designed to diminish me, triggered something fundamental. I jerked away with enough force to make him stumble. Don't you dare touch me. And don't you ever use my daughter's name to justify your greed. Vanessa's lower lip began trembling in a performance I'd seen countless times. Daddy Dave, we just wanted to spend time with you. We thought you'd be happy to share your beautiful house with family. Daddy Dave, the nickname made my skin crawl. Happy? You want me to be happy about strangers claiming my bedroom, ransacking my kitchen, treating my home like your personal resort. We're not strangers, Kelly protested. We're Marcus's friends. That makes us practically family. Practically family. The phrase that apparently granted unlimited access to my life. Marcus sensed the mood shifting. Look, David, I understand you're overwhelmed. But we're here now. We've made arrangements, and turning us away would create serious problems for everyone. The threat was subtle, but unmistakable. The only problem is 18 people who think they can occupy someone else's home without permission. Without permission? Marcus's mask finally slipped. After everything you've put us through with your demands and expectations? Everything I put them through. 7 years of writing checks, and somehow I was making demands. Chris stepped forward, beer-scented confidence filling the hallway. Look, Pops, maybe you should just chill. We'll clean up. No harm, no foul. Pops. Another casual diminishment from a stranger drinking my beer. The group was closing ranks, their body language shifting from apologetic to defensive. Aiding against one in my own home. Marcus moved closer, his voice dropping to the tone he'd always used for ultimatums. Think carefully about your next move, David. Some decisions can't be undone. Some relationships can't be repaired once they're broken. There it was. The naked threat wrapped in concern for family harmony. Cross us and lose us forever. I looked around at their faces entitled, expectant, already calculating how to spin this story. In their minds, I was the unreasonable rich relative who'd forgotten his place. But standing in my own hallway, defending my own bedroom door, I finally understood something crucial. Some relationships were already broken. Some had never been real in the first place. You're right about one thing, I said, stepping back from the doorway. Some decisions can't be undone. I turned and walked deliberately toward my study, fishing my phone from my pocket. Behind me, Vanessa's voice rose in theatrical desperation. Where are you going? We need to talk about this like adults. I closed the study door behind me, turning the lock with a satisfying click. Through the window, the lake stretched endlessly, indifferent to human drama. I dialed 911. 911, what's your emergency? I need police assistance. There are people in my home who refuse to leave when asked. Sir, are you in immediate physical danger? Not yet, but they're refusing to leave my property after being told multiple times. Heavy knocking erupted on the study door. David? Marcus's voice carried forced joviality. Come on out. Let's discuss this reasonably. Sir, how many individuals are involved? 18 people. They arrived without invitation about an hour ago. Officers are being dispatched. Can you remain secure until they arrive? Yes, I'm in my study with the door locked. Through the door, I could hear the group's whispered conference growing agitated. Someone suggested they should leave before this gets crazy. But Marcus's voice cut through. He's bluffing. David doesn't have the backbone for this. The backbone. After 40 years of building a career that provided for everyone around me, he questioned my backbone. Thank you, officer. I ended the call and sat back, feeling calmer than I had all day. The pounding escalated from knocking to serious hammering. Open this door right now. Marcus's civility had dropped completely. This is family business. But it wasn't family business. Family doesn't invade. Family doesn't ignore boundaries. Family doesn't threaten consequences when their exploitation is challenged. David, please. Vanessa's voice cracked. How can you do this to us? We trusted you. They trusted me to provide unlimited access to my resources without complaint. The sirens grew louder, cutting through the afternoon air like judgment approaching. Urgent whispers turned to panic-stricken strategy sessions. Footsteps scattered as reality penetrated their bubble of entitlement. Everyone stay calm. Marcus's voice carried forced authority. Let me handle this. It's just a misunderstanding. The doorbell rang with official authority. Through my study walls, I heard the scramble of people trying to appear casual, hiding evidence of their invasion. I unlocked my study door and emerged to find the group arranged in the living room like they were hosting an intervention. Marcus had positioned himself near the front door, preparing to control the narrative. Good evening, officers. Marcus opened the door with practiced charm. I'm afraid there's been a family misunderstanding. My father-in-law seems to be having some kind of episode. An episode. Of course I was the problem. 2 officers entered, a senior man who introduced himself as Officer Peterson, and a younger woman, Officer Collins. Their presence immediately shifted the room's dynamic. Sir, are you the homeowner who called about trespassing? Officer Peterson addressed me directly. Yes, I'm David Mitchell. This is my property. I pulled the deed from my study. These people arrived without invitation and refused to leave. Officer Collins scanned the room, taking in scattered luggage, empty beer bottles, and general chaos. How many individuals are we talking about? 18 when they arrived. Some may have left when they heard the sirens. Marcus stepped forward with his most reasonable expression. Officers, this is clearly a family dispute. David's been under stress since moving, and I think he's just overwhelmed. Sir, family relationship doesn't override property rights, Officer Peterson replied, examining my deed. The homeowner has legal authority to determine who stays on his property. The simple statement hit the room like a physical blow. For the first time all day, someone in authority had confirmed what I'd been saying. Vanessa looked genuinely shocked. But we're family. Doesn't that mean anything? Ma'am, family status doesn't grant automatic access to someone else's property without permission, Officer Collins replied neutrally. Permission? Marcus's voice rose. He's been planning this estate as a family gathering place for months. You assumed wrong, Officer Peterson cut him off. Mr. Mitchell, do you want these individuals removed from your property? The question hung in the air like a sword. 18 faces stared at me, some angry, some pleading. all finally understanding their assumptions had been legally meaningless. "Yes," I said clearly. "I want them all to leave immediately." The words felt like lifting a weight I'd carried for years. "You have 15 minutes to gather your belongings and vacate the premises." Officer Collins addressed the group. "Anyone remaining after that will be arrested for trespassing." The scramble began immediately. Tom and Chris moved fastest, grabbing their cooler and mumbling apologies. Kelly shot accusatory looks at Marcus while stuffing clothes into her suitcase. Several people I barely recognized simply fled. "This is ridiculous," Marcus protested as he watched his authority collapse. "We drove 5 hours. We made arrangements." "You made arrangements without consulting the property owner," Officer Peterson replied. "That's not a legal reservation." "Sir." Vanessa was gathering belongings from my master bedroom, her movements sharp with anger. "David, you're going to regret this decision for the rest of your life." But I felt no regret, only relief. Marcus made one final attempt as he packed his SUV. "Sarah would be ashamed of what you've become, old man." Selfish and bitter, Officer Peterson stepped between us. "Sir, you need to leave now. Any further contact with Mr. Mitchell could be considered harassment." The last car pulled out as the sun touched the mountains, painting my estate in golden light. Officer Collins completed her paperwork while Officer Peterson explained the documentation process. "You'll have a formal report number. If they return without permission, call us immediately." After the officers left, I stood alone in my foyer, surrounded by blessed silence. The chaos was gone. Scattered bottles, sandy footprints, entitled voices claiming my spaces. My phone buzzed with angry messages, but I turned it off without reading them. For the first time in 7 years, I'd said no without apologizing. I'd called for help instead of suffering in silence. The lake waves lapped rhythmically outside my windows, washing the shoreline clean with each cycle. Tomorrow would bring new challenges: angry phone calls, social media campaigns, family members choosing sides. But tonight, my home was mine again. And that felt like the beginning of something that looked remarkably like freedom. What did this story teach you about setting boundaries? Where are you listening from? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Sometimes the hardest battles we fight are with the people closest to us. But standing up for yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary. What would you have done in David's situation? Share your thoughts, and remember that your peace of mind is worth protecting.